Number 59. Find a negative x when x is a negative number. Well, that really sounds confusing. Let's start from basics here. Let's just write down this statement right here. Write down x is going to be a negative number. Alright? X is going to be a negative number. How do I read this? Well, this, if you don't read this as negative, you got a lot better chance of getting it correct. You want to say this is the opposite of x. Well, if x is negative, what's the opposite of the negative? You're going to see that's going to turn that back into a positive, see? Now, if you read this as negative x is a positive number, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But if you say the opposite of this number is this number, then you make sense out of it, you see? Now, that's not what our problem says. Our problem says this. Well, what we want to do is go through this step first, writing x as negative, write the opposite of the x is going to be positive, and then this says the opposite of my second line. This is the opposite of this number, you see. So all I have to do is find out what is the opposite, not of this number, but of this number. Because if I have the opposite of the positive here, I'm going to end up this being negative. You need to go through each one of these steps, write all 3 steps, then you'll have it easy. First of all, put x, put the opposite of x, and the opposite of the opposite. Then all you have to do is find out if your first number is negative, this is going to be plus, this is going to be minus. If that first number, if x had been positive, now it wasn't, but if x had been positive, you'd switch back to negative and positive, you see? But because we started with a negative number, I write down this next step right here. I'm going to make this into a positive, and then the third step, I switch it back to a negative, and I have my final answer, and I know it's right.